just the kind of nature of the situation we found ourselves in when you joined, or put ourselves in, I suppose I should say. It almost feels like every game you've played in has been a big game with big consequences. Does that just make it that bit more enjoyable? It seems to have brought the best out in us more often than not.
100%. I think that's why you kind of grow up wanting to be a footballer. You want to put yourself in the higher pressure moments. I think when you're playing kind of for nothing, it doesn't get the enjoyment when you get a win. You don't get as much enjoyment, and you don't probably hurt as much when you lose. So I think the feeling obviously on Saturday after a point where we wanted to get 3 points, obviously you're kind of just in a mix of both emotions, but no, we're striving to keep getting that feeling of 3 points every Saturday, and that's hopefully what's going to keep us up.
You could see the whole squad's reaction to both Gav's winning goal against Hamilton and then Rhys equaliser.
Yeah.
It's something that the whole squad are involved in, even the players that have been on and then come off, or have just come on, or the guys that are stripped waiting. You all seem to be in it together. I know that's cliche as anything, but it seems really, really true.
100%, and that's every single team talk that the gaffers had has always been about how it's not about the starters, it's not about the first 11. It isn't, and it's easy for players to say that if they are in the starting 11, because I know what it's like being on the bench, and it might not be the best feeling in the world, but they are the difference makers. Like, that's the biggest thing in football, is having this set of fresh legs to come on and change the game. And I can't remember what the stat was, but it's something like 7 in the last 8 games we've had a goal scorer from the bench, and that's a massive thing in football, because when, especially as a defender, if I can see the sideline an opposition attackers coming on fresh legs when I'm struggling, it's not a nice feeling. It's not a good feeling. But that's a massive thing, and having these guys come off the bench and make the difference, it's such a big help.
It certainly looks like you've been enjoying playing and enjoying the experience thus far. I know that speaking as just one of the supporters, you've become very popular very quickly with the support. How much are you enjoying the experience up to now?
Oh, I'm loving every minute of it. I think it's exactly what I asked for and more. I think just enjoying football is such a massive thing, and it's very understated, I think, when you first come through like academies and stuff like that, about enjoying football, and you kind of take it for granted. But not just that, just what we spoke about at the start about the competitive part of it, it's massive. I think it as well, although we have kind of changed style of play some games depending on who we're playing against, on the whole the type of football that we're trying to play is exactly what I asked for and what I need. I think obviously changing the way I play is also something that I need to learn, which is again another massive positive. And what's happened over the last couple of weeks is a bit of both. A bit where I'm already comfortable and I like playing it from the back and I like doing all the nice stuff, or even the games that we might not get the greatest results, but it's a learning curve for me. And I know it's selfish of me to say, but it's also for my development. I want to keep Airdrie in the league, but I also want to develop myself to the highest I can get to and the best I can get to. So all these things are positive, and no, it's been great.
It looks like you and Aidan have struck up a good understanding as well. How's he been as a partner at centre back? Oh,
brilliant. Aidan's, even though he's still young himself, he's experienced, and he's a great professional, and to play alongside him it's easy. He'll tell you if you're wrong, and he'll praise you when you're right, and you do things well. I think that's massive in a partnership at the back as well. Just making sure that you're always on top of each other, making sure that if he is doing something wrong, that you're helping him change that. But no, Aidan's been brilliant with me, and especially it's great having him back and getting back to full fitness, since he's been out for a long time, and you can tell that he's getting there, because it's looking better for him every week.
Falkirk away on Saturday, and I suppose it's been an away form where it's been still a bit of a struggle compared to the home form since we've started to turn things around, but you were involved in 2 really good points that we've picked up at Morton and at Partick Thistle, games that we probably look back on and say, maybe could have won those ones, but Saturday it'll be a difficult job. But what do you expect from Falkirk away?
I think more of the same. Obviously played them not long ago. They're a good footballing side. They know each other very well. They're a team that have been together for a long time, with the same manager, so it's all a lot of the same stuff that we've looked over previously on them. And obviously I do feel that in the last game that we played them at home, we started off well. We were playing some good football. I think we need to take that positive side of from that game, although the result wasn't good, we were able to build up from the back. We were able to get into positions to score when we were moving forward. We just weren't clinical in that aspect. So I think there's a lot that we can take from that previous game into this game, but a lot as well that we need to change, because we know what they're like. They're clinical in front of goal. They're very well structured, and they know exactly where to be and where not to be, in both defensively and attacking. So no, it's a great challenge for us, and it's an away ground that will bring good fans, and it'll be a good game. So no, I'm excited, and all the boys, I know they are all excited as well, and ready to get going and trying to close the gap even more.
Is it a wee bit easier, or does it help, I suppose is the better way to phrase it, that you've had that experience just recently of playing them here, that although you can watch them from a distance and stuff like that, I suppose there's no real substitute for up close and personal hands-on experience? Yeah,
no, definitely. I think although we have just played against them, it doesn't change the fact that any team, that we're not scared of any team. Like we're not gonna. We'll obviously give them respect because they're top of the league and thoroughly deserve to be top of the league. We'll give them all the respect that they're due, but we need to back ourselves. And although we are the opposite side of the table, that we know we're good enough, and we know that we can play the right football and break them down. And I think that's what we need to believe. And that's the kind of, as you could see at the first half last weekend against a top of the league team. We didn't really we played with freedom, and that was exactly what we need to do when we go away to Falkirk this weekend.
And I suppose that's a really good thing to look at as an example, is the game against Livingston. Mm-hmm. That's a side who had beaten us 3 times, mm-hmm. and we go there, we're probably unlucky not to win it, and come away with a positive point. There's no reason we can't do that again on Saturday to a team who've beaten us 3 times as well.
100%. I think we forget about anything that's happened in the past, and we just look forward. We've not got many games left. Was it 7 games? 7 games, and they're all cup finals for us. We need to stay in this league, in 7 games we need to try and get maximum points out of that, and that's the way we're all thinking, and it's exciting, but also we need to keep working hard and making sure that we stay in the league. Just as well you enjoy these high pressure competitive games then. Correct. Brilliant. Alex, thank you very much. Right, thank you very much. Cheers. Rhys, obviously the result on Saturday, it's not a win but a point gained, and now we go on to face what I guess is on paper the toughest game away at the league leaders.
I think probably for the outside, looking at the 2 games back to back, they would be the toughest games on paper. Probably the season. Again, 2 teams that have got something to play for as well, so it's not like you're going there with a dead rubber game. You know, Falkirk are pushing to try and get that kind of over the line and claim that title. Livingston obviously were in the hunt and we all to play for. But again, I thought the boys put in a really good performance. Bit of a tale of 2 halves. Started really well. First half were excellent. Second half, Livingston come into it a little bit, defended well, and a very kind of entertaining game. But we know that we've got to try and back that up and put in another good performance like we did Saturday there. The goals conceded, I suppose, will probably be a wee bit of a bugbear. The first one, I think, it's a wee bit fluky because the deflection totally wrong foot's Cade, and if that doesn't happen, he's probably getting it. But the other 2 goals, the third one, they've worked really, really well. Maybe frustration to lose the second for the corner. It's a set piece that he's actually, Dylan's in a good position in terms of he's touch tight with Wilson, and for some reason either, I don't know if it's flight of the ball or just kind of loses him for that half a yard, and then he's always playing catch up. Danny Wilson obviously is aggressive and scored a few goals to set pieces this year, so credit to him. And like you said, to score 3 goals at home and you find yourself not coming out with 3 points is disappointing, but listen, I think the performance levels against a very good Livingston side was pleasing. I'm more pleased than I'm kind of negative. I suppose we're going to try and hope to do what we did to Livingston, to Falkirk, and get something from a team who have beaten us the other 3 times we've played them. The last game here, not that long ago obviously, but it felt like we maybe didn't get the fair share of luck, perhaps, just the nature of the goals, but kind of our own undoing in many ways as well. Nah, listen, I think the goals change games. The first goal obviously is the corner, am I right? The corner. Yeah. The foul on Aiden that's not given. And again, it should never come in. Brad Spencer talks about it kind of pre-game, that's something that they work on. He's not intended to score. He's trying to put it in an area and he's got a bit fortunate that's went in. Poor on our end. and then obviously the second goal, I think it's about the 38th minute, 40th minute, which is a real sickener before half time. One that we'd be looking to avoid, but I thought we started the game really well. First kind of 30 minutes I thought we were good. Could we improve the quality in the final third? But I thought we started the game really brightly, had flashes and moments of opportunity that we could kind of hurt them. You don't capitalise that, and like I say, goals change games. You find yourself 2-0 down at half time, and it's one of the ones where do you probably deserve it? No, but that's football and you've got to dust yourself down. So goals change games, we know that, but we're coming up against a brand new task on Saturday.
I suppose that the fact that it's this stage of the season means you know you're playing them for a fourth time, so you know the opposition very well. I suppose you're expecting a team coming out all guns blazing because they know they're pretty close to sealing the title. Aye,
they're virtually there, and it's just a case of probably for them getting enough points and just getting over the line. I think it was an 8-point gap they've got, so they'll be looking to make sure that they don't kind of halt at any hurdle in the final few games or whatever it is. They want to get it done as quick as they can, which totally understandable, but at the same time we're fighting for that survival, so we've got to make sure that we give the same level of application and effort that we did on Saturday, tidy up on certain wee bits and look to go and get 3 points.
We'll be missing Liam obviously off in international duty. What about yourself? Does the suspension, is that spent now? Are you back available?
You tell me. And I don't know, to be fair. I was unsure even when I got sent off because I wasn't sure if it was a player or a manager touchline ban or what. So I think it's one game, so be hoping to maybe be back in contention.
We'll make sure and double check that.
Double check. Rhys is obviously away in international, so 2 free slots on the bench. I think obviously big Aaron Reid, he'll be missing regardless. Took Tisami again, so wee bit of a sickener on that one. Thought the big man was just coming back into arena form and showed obviously in the game prior what an asset and what a threat he can be. Just been frustrating for him obviously with the injury, kind of stop-start kind of season that we've had, but opportunity for others to step up and take that kind of jersey, as I always talk about.
You've got a number of forwards there that can go and try and stake that claim. Obviously Mox has had a big impact earlier in the calendar year and throughout the season. You've got Rico Diak, you've got Lewis McGregor, so there is options there for you to try and decide who's going to be going up front then.
Aye, but again that's up to the players when they train and come on. I speak about it all the time that I think the last 7 out of the last 8 goals have all been contributing factors from the subs at the side, whether that's coming on and directly being involved in the goal or scoring a goal, involved in the build up. So that tells you that the boys are coming on with impact and the information that they're coming on. They know what's expected, they know what they need to do, and they're bringing that to the table, which is pleasing. That's what I talk about all the time. It's about a squad game, and no better way to back it up than the statistics that the boys are coming on, they're making that impact. So everybody will be probably itching and desperate for that kind of the starting jersey, but they'll know as well in the back of their heads that even the lads that start, it's never about just them, it's about the boys coming on and making sure they can bring that impact to the game.
The last 2 games in particular have proven that the impacts that subs have come on, either getting goals, making goals, or both, just shows you how valuable having that fully available squad is to you.
Aye, like you said, it's much better to look at the side and you've got the luxury of making potentially five substitutes. It just keeps that freshness in the game. It also keeps everybody on side as well. You know, you don't have that mindset and mentality where you're, I'm not going to go on, he's playing X in front of me or he's playing Y in front of me. You know that you've got to perform, because if you're not, there's somebody waiting to take your jersey and take their opportunity, and you might find yourself down the pecking order for 1 or 2 games until you step up. And I've spoken about it all the time, that just brings the level up in training, and in general levels go higher, we perform better, you get more points, you get more wins. That's just facts. So having that luxury, like I said, potentially we left 2 boys out and obviously they've not done anything wrong, it's just because they can only pick a certain amount. Excuse me. So we've got to make sure that we continue that mindset and that mentality going forward, because like I say, it's going to be a collective effort. It's not going to be a me versus you or an individual. It's going to keep us up. It's going to be a collective effort from staff, supporters, from the squad and everybody in it together.
With the points gained recently, I suppose we can't even take that as we can go into this game away top of the league and look at it as a free hit. We've got to try and pick up points even in games like this, just as we did in a game against a side as good as Livingston.
Aye, there's no free hits. We knew that. We said that 10 games ago. It was 10 cup finals, and we want to try and pick up as many points as we can. We understand that are you realistically going to go and win 10 out of 10? No, would be my answer, but there's no reason why you can't go unbeaten in 10 or you can't go unbeaten in 6, unbeaten in 7. If you do that, hindsight's a wonderful thing. You look back at the end of the season, getting a point at Livingston might be a valuable point, or it might not be. So we've got to make sure that we approach every game with the mentality that yes, we want to go and win the game, we need 3 points, we want 3 points of course, but that doesn't mean you just go all of a sudden gung-ho and go and be erratic for the first minute, because a team like Falkirk and a team like Livingston, who are up the right end of the table, will pick you off because of quality. They've got a good quality group in there, and they're performing really well. So you've got to have a game plan, a structure that you abide to, but at the same time it's a way that you're approaching the game careful of their strengths, a little bit mindful of their weaknesses as well, in areas that you can try and hurt them, and everything's all about mentality and belief. You go in there with a belief that you can get something from the game, and if you do that, you've got a right good chance.
And you can see that that's running through this side now. It's coursing through because they go 3-2 down to a team like Livingston, having surrendered the lead, and the heads didn't drop. They get straight back to it, created a few other chances and took one of them.
Aye, but that's not the first that's happened. It's been throughout the season. We've maybe not had a bit of luck. Maybe 4 months ago they would have lost the game 3-2, huffed and puffed and never found that equaliser. But football's a funny game, sometimes momentum and it just can shift, and I thought we looked a wee bit kind of burst and dead on our feet with 10-15 to go, and then when Livy go 3-2 up, naturally you get that wee extra spring in your step because you need to get an equaliser, and then you start to see that second wind, and with 5-10 to go, you seen everybody was desperate to get forward, try and score the goal. Strava comes on, and even the throw in after it, we score, and desperate to try and get that winning goal. That's the mindset and mentality that we want, and at the end of the day we can come away for the game, we can shake hands and reflect, and it was a good performance and maybe a good point like you said, but the application, everything was 100% was there.
Right, we'll see you Saturday. Thank you, Rhys.
Cheers.
Thank you.